Today, we're diving into Aunt Jennifer's Tigers, a really short but incredibly powerful poem by Adrienne Rich. And what we're going to do is explore how a simple act of stitching, of just making something with your hands, can tell this huge story about oppression, freedom, and how art can outlive all of it. Now, as we go through this, I want you to keep this one big question in your head. What if the things you made, the art you created, was a perfect mirror of everything you wished you could be, but just weren't? Because that idea right there is the absolute heart of Aunt Jennifer's story. All right, so the poem kicks off by showing us two completely different worlds. First up, let's jump into the vibrant, powerful world of the tigers that Aunt Jennifer is creating. And look, these are not just any animals. They are pure, untamed strength. They are confidence. They represent a life that is lived with absolutely zero fear. You can just feel the energy in those lines, can't you? The words she uses, prance, pace, they give you this sense of noble, almost royal confidence. These tigers own their world, and they are completely, totally unafraid. So, if we break down their world, what do we see? We get these brilliant colors, like bright topaz. We see this confident, energetic movement. But their attitude, that's the key. That phrase, chivalric certainty, it suggests this bold, almost heroic kind of confidence. This is a world of pure, unapologetic power. Okay, so you have this world of absolute freedom, but the hands that are actually stitching it into existence, well, they tell a very, very different story. And this is where we get to the core conflict of the poem, the massive gap between the art and the artist, the oppressive reality of Aunt Jennifer's own life. And boom, just like that, the tone completely shifts. Her fingers aren't strong and certain like the tiger's. No, they're fluttering. The simple act of pulling a needle is a struggle. It's the exact opposite of the power she's creating. And this is the paradox, isn't it? Her art, which is this incredible vision of freedom, is actually born from her own weakness, from her own struggle. That fight is literally woven into every single stitch. So why is she struggling? Well, here's our answer. The poem points directly to the source. This isn't just a ring. It is a massive weight, and it sits heavily. The poem is not subtle here. Her marriage is a crushing burden. Let's unpack that, because every word here is so precise. The massive weight, that means it's a burden, not a joy. And notice how it's not her ring, it's Uncle's wedding band. That little detail suggests ownership, control. That ring symbolizes everything that's holding her down in her marriage. So where does this all lead? What's the final legacy here? The last part of the poem gives us this really poignant and powerful conclusion about what's left behind when the artist is gone, but the art remains. And this, right here, is the gut punch of the poem. Just look at the two sides. Even in death, Aunt Jennifer's hands are described as terrified, still trapped by the ordeals she was mastered by. Her suffering follows her to the grave. But the tigers? They will go on prancing, proud and unafraid. See the difference? Her oppression was mortal. It died with her. But the freedom she created? That's immortal. And that's really the ultimate takeaway, isn't it? Through her art, Aunt Jennifer creates the freedom, the power, and the immortality that her own life denied her. Her creation becomes the fearless self she could only ever dream of being. Now, to really get the full weight of this poem, it helps to know a little bit about the person who wrote it, because Adrienne Rich's own life gives these ideas even more power. You see, Adrienne Rich was a major voice in the women's movement. A huge part of her life's work was about challenging power structures, whether it was racism or the patriarchal rules of marriage. So Aunt Jennifer's Tigers isn't just about one fictional woman. No way. It's a powerful statement about the constraints society places on women and the incredible ways they find to fight for freedom. Which leaves us with one last big question to think about. For Aunt Jennifer, her fearless, proud spirit is what lives on in her art. And it kind of makes you wonder, right? What parts of us, our secret hopes, our dreams, our own desire for freedom, what parts of us will live on in the things that we create?